Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And now, my question of today is, what is your favorite country? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's get on with the video. Japanese investors prefer Bitcoin and Ripple over Ethereum, a survey says. Well, actually, they prefer Bitcoin over everything else. XRP come in second and Ethereum come in third, but XRP is a very close second. I know I said this in an earlier video already, but since it's such a huge deal for this whole survey to show this, I thought I should re-mention it just because of the severity of this. Now, if you are enjoying the daily crypto news, please support the channel by pressing the like button and subscribing. Helps me out a ton, puts a smile on my face, and about 63% of y'all that are watching are not subscribed, and you can help that number go down. I want to see it at 50, so subscribe to the channel. Having said that though, the interest in XRP is pretty damn good, especially over in Japan where they adore cryptocurrency. But just one thing that nobody seems to be talking about anymore, I've noticed, is this right here. CoinMarketCap's controversy makes XRP community complain of XRP market manipulation. Basically, this is from December 2018 and before and afterwards. We've discussed this multiple times. But basically, it's about the fact that we value the XRP market cap with the coins that are outstanding, at least out of escrow. But really, it's kind of difficult how we really need to calculate this market cap, and still to this day, I am wondering if what we are doing here is correct and how the scarcity effect would take place. So to basically sum up my questions here, my question one is basically, should we keep this low market cap and low outstanding amount of coins? Because basically, if you think about it, and that's kind of where question two comes in, what would be the consequences if this circulating supply were to go to about 98 or so billion, right? Would a scarcity effect like crazy kick in already? Or would people still act exactly the same? Because, I mean, the same amount of coins will be traded anyway. And, you know, what's really going to change? Only the fact that this number is going to look different, and new newbies might think that XRP is valued way higher than before, because I don't know exactly where it will be at right then. I guess it would still be below Ethereum here at about $19 billion in terms of market cap. But still, it would then move again to the third spot and possibly with a small little rise even to the second spot again. And that might do a lot of positive for the price as well if it gets there. And that makes me wonder, and I'm wondering what you guys think about that. Is the true value of XRP correct at 19 cents is one question. Again, that's just completely irrelevant to the rest, but is the true circulating supply 99 because they're all mined and they're just in escrow by a certain party, but they're still kind of out there, they're still circulating, but just some party who's holding them decided to lock them up, but still they are circulating because they were mined already? And also, would that have a positive or negative effect on the XRP price? Taking also into account that the circulating supply would increase market cap, but also increase or decrease the level of scarcity that people feel. If you guys have put that down below what you think about it, I have a little bit of a different thing I want to show you guys. I don't know exactly where it went to. It is over. Well, it was basically about the true market or the true price of XRP here. And that comes from Coin Fair Value. Fair value displayed here are based on the current stage or usage of each coin. They don't contain speculation on future variations of their usage. We leave speculation to investors. And basically here they're saying that the fair value for XRP is 25 cents with quite an interesting analysis added to it. And one of the things I noticed that the velocity of XRP is 0.007, which is ridiculously low in my opinion, but they use the current supply of 99.9 trillion, which makes it, of course, a lot more understandable why it would be that way. And again, even the total discounted supply is, 99 billion, and fair market cap 25 billion, and true market cap at least 19. But they are also stating as well that this market cap should be a lot higher than it is. And that made me wonder, because I was looking up fair price, true price, and all those things alike, And since I noticed this article, it got me thinking as well about exactly what we should be going for here and what is really fair. All right, here is how they came up with fair values. Fair values displayed in coin fair value do not contain speculation and have been calculated with the following assumptions. According to CFV theory, the velocity of money is driven by the individual's willingness to trade their savings for goods and services, which is believed to change over time. To account for this variable, we are using a 1-year moving average, filtering 2 sigma outliers. We are considering total discounted savings and not the current savings. The daily velocity of a currency based on total discounted savings is computed dividing the daily amount transacted by the total discounted supply of the currency, and if the investors wish to use a velocity based on current savings, they would just need to divide daily amounts transacted by the number current supply instead. So that's again what I just said with this velocity. If you don't want the velocity to be this low and kind of unfair, you can basically change the amount of supply that you decide to choose. It's the same with the Fisher's equation normally, or at least that's, I guess, what I always fetch when we're talking about money supply and velocity. Be careful in the cases where a slow velocity of money is a consequence of a token issuer or company holding the majority of their currency supply. In these cases, one single person can change the overall velocity of the currency in an unpredictable instant, which is again important to note as well, but I just questioned that before. We are assuming that when currencies settle on their niches, their basket's shift ratio will move slowly enough. Based on that assumption, we are using a 1-year MA on their basket average value, filtering 2 sigma outliers, and keep in mind that small currencies can be subjected to large temporary changes in their basket's average value. Transactions per day is the variable that has been observed to best correlate with the price movements. In order to track the user base in short-term basis, we've decided to just filter the noise of the transactions per day, and we are using an EMA exponential moving average, filtering 2 sigma outliers as a smoothing function, and the parameters of the EMA are selected per coin in such a way that the bias is minimized and the noise is reduced to a minimum. Do always analyze the charts and make your own research. Judge for yourself if the MA or EMA assumptions are the best one in every case. Causes for an increase in price of a currency with respect to another currency. Again, you can read a little bit more about that, but basically here, the fair value, what they say is 25 cents for XRP, which is pretty damn interesting if you think about it. They call it Ripple on the website, but you can check here what a lot of them are. For example, Bitcoin fair value 8,000, Ethereum 234, Stellar 24.5 cents, XRP 25.36. And again, you can also see here amount of transactions in 24 hours, fair market cap that it is really. Everything I think is pretty obvious for all of y'all how this is working, how this is going, and what to fetch from it all, and how they rank everything, which is again pretty interesting as well. Crypto.com ranks really, really high on this website, even though the price here is higher than the fair value. But yeah, it's pretty interesting if you ask me here how they value it, and it's something that you might need to take a look at to see what is going on. Ethereum defies gravity as Ripple XRP rallies above key resistance. This is not completely true. Nothing that crazy or out of the ordinary is going on here, and thus I don't really know why these guys wanted to make an article like this. There's no use in it, and it's not really true anything surrounding this at all. They're stating that we rallied above a key resistance. Well, we were not past 20 cents, which is a very, very big resistance. Everything under that doesn't matter too much. XRP price is 86% lower compared to its cost basis. Crypto analyst. XRP holders are doing really, really bad according to Masari data. Contents: XRP holders are sitting on tremendous losses, and Bitcoiners are faring much better. To quote, cost basis analysis suggests that XRP holders are deeply in the red, despite closing above $1 on just 2.1% of its 2.1 thousand total trading days. Its aggregated cost basis is 1.38. It currently trades at 0.192, basically stating that a lot of people took some losses here as their average price is most likely about 138. At least that's what I fetch from it. If there's something different to be told, you guys need to let me know. But that's what I fetch from all of this. I think it basically just states that most people, bought over there, and most people bought at higher prices, and that's why they're still at losses. If you're still in the loss, let me know in the comment section down below. Cardano price gets a boost as Shelly upgrade inches closer. With the Shelly upgrade only 2 weeks away, Cardano has recovered from a somewhat shaky weekend with a price increase of more than 10%. So that happened a little bit earlier today. The Cardano prices did extraordinarily good, and we all noticed it, we all saw it, we all rejoiced, and we were all happy. 2 altcoins that may have finished correcting. ICX is facing resistance at 4,000 and support at 3050 Satoshi. It is trading inside a descending parallel channel, and HBAR is facing strong resistance at 540. Now my question on this regard is, what coins would you like me to talk about as well? Are there any other coins which you really enjoy talking about or think I should be discussing? If you have any of those, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm looking for some different coins to talk about, and if you guys have any, let me know. Here are the simple reasons why Bitcoin may soon explode past $10,500. Now, I don't really know if this is true. I can't really tell you guys anything surrounding that really, because I am always of the opinion that you need to see it with steps. And by the way, I'm taking off my hoodie or whatever it is called, like a vest, because it's really freaking hot and I'm getting psyched up by recording these videos, man. Crypto is going insane right now. I'm always a guy that says, take it slow with some slower steps. Let's first get to 10,000 and then we'll see further to 10,500, just because I think it will have a really, really big effect on crypto if we break 10K, and thus really stating on whether or not we can go to 10.5 already afterwards or anything like that is just taking it one step too far. And I don't think anybody can really say anything more rather than 10,000 is a big mark. And in this case here, they're saying if the pattern plays out, then Bitcoin is bound to fly past 10K resistance and possibly even its macro resistance at 10.5K. But again, there's some logical sense in that, where there's a bigger resistance at 10.5K. But the play here is that, again, we may just really, really shoot past 10K and we'll see afterwards from that. However, again, since they're not really helping out too much here with any real info, it's just, again, some basic stuff. You can read up into it if you want to. There's some logical sense into it, but it's price talk. Don't like to talk about it too much here. Many believe that this sideways consolidation we have been seeing on Bitcoin for the last month or so is distribution before a large move back down to 6 or 7K. I personally believe that this is a reaccumulation before the inevitable break of 10.5K, he explained. And here's a little bit of a chart attached to it. Just pause it and read through it if you really want to know about it. $300 Ethereum? Ethereum looks like to be the next major crypto to follow Cardano into the gains, I believe, because of Ethereum 2.0 that's being hyped quite a lot at this time. A lot of people are really excited for Ethereum to come up with some updates, and since those updates are also around the corner, it's not that crazy or strange to you to think about the fact that the prices may be going up a little bit, or that it might follow into Cardano's footsteps. If you don't know about Cardano, they've been doing really, really well because of their Shelly. And some of the announcements, like, for example, they're staking. David Schwartz just went to Twitter, and Ripple said, new Blockstars podcast, Ripple's VP of Global Institutional Markets, Brie Madigan, discusses the growing institutional interest, her name is Brian, by the way, institutional interest in blockchain and crypto. Listen for more. And David also said, how can the industry bring blockchain and crypto technology mainstream? Brian Madigan and I chat about the need for regulatory clarity and deeper liquidity pools. Listen today. That's pretty damn cool that they have a podcast or something along that way. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm going to be watching it later tonight when I have some time free, because that stuff is really digging deep for me. I like that stuff, and I especially like when David Schwartz talks about things, because he explains it all so clear. Even though sometimes it may still be confusing, it's clear exactly what he's trying to say, right? He tries to make it accessible for all the people watching, which I just love. And most of the time, whenever you have a question, just at him and he'll answer that stuff, which is, again, pretty amazing. Fun thing, Mochi said, "Can you give me a follow, sir?" He said, "No. You'll have to settle for a reply and a right on, brother." Savage. So yeah. Just a little bit of a motivational thing here. Halibushi just said again, "Money will not make you happy. If you think XRP will provide you happiness, you're brainwashed. XRP is here to make you financially free only. Happiness is within you." And a couple of points there. One is that money can make happiness to a certain degree. For example, if your main concern right now is, you want to get a certain amount of food, maybe you want to get cheese, but cheese is too expensive, which I can understand. Or maybe you just want to, a way to get around the city. You want a bike, but the bike is, $40. You just can't afford it because you're spending too much on food or things like that, where you just need small amounts of money. It can really help you out. But it's basically for the necessities here and the lower parts. To upgrade your life, it's always temporary. And money, material, most of the time with most things I can imagine here, they bring you temporary joy. Because have you ever thought about it? You bought a car, you bought anything else, you bought a phone. The first 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years possibly, it's fun. And afterwards, it's just normal. And you don't really get the dopamine rush that you used to have. And it's the same thing for Lamborghinis and everything you can think about, most likely. At first, it's fun. And a co-worker of mine, or at least a guy I used to know, he always used to say, same story for a wife. And I'm sorry if you guys are, or if you're a woman and you don't like that joke, and not being sexist or anything. No offense to any community at all. Just harmless fun and a joke. But yeah, he used to say that, and it was pretty funny, I believe, because I can understand exactly what he was trying to say with that. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can say that type of stuff. But yeah, he said something along those lines. And it's the way it goes with most things. And it's also something where he makes a very good point. Most likely, XRP and a ton of money that it might bring will not bring you eternal happiness unless the happiness comes from seeing technology succeed. But the money it's going to bring, it's most likely going to bring you temporary happiness. And it might, put your overall situation in a better spot. But if you're really, really unhappy, it's just, crying in a Porsche or crying in a Lamborghini instead of crying in a Punto, or crying on the street in a cardboard box. You might still be crying. And that's also a little bit of a call to all of you to start working on bettering your life a little bit. Because, again, that's something you should think about as well. To just have the best situation for yourself, at least the best situation you could make for yourself. You just try to work on that, which is a pretty smart thing to do for anybody, I would say. Now, a new tweet says, CBDCs, I think, represent interesting opportunities. This could potentially present an interesting opportunity to Ripple, in that there's software products like RippleNet and bridge currencies like XRP that may have a very important role to play here, by Bree Madigan at Ripple. And it's again from the guys that were just in the podcast just now. They talked about this, and again, that's what you get as well. And last but not least, a poll by Status. He says, out of these four, which do you think will give the biggest ROI percentage-wise, i.e. 100%, in the next 1 to 2 years? And that's the question for all of you. Which coin do you think will do the best? Do you think it's going to be ADA, VeChain, XRP, ICX? If you have any opinion on that, let me know in the comment section down below. And also what coins you'd like me to talk about next. For example, if you want to talk about Tron or Ethereum or ADA or any coin in that regard, just let me know in the comment section, because hey, otherwise, how can I know, right? How can I know what coins to update on next? And to touch a little bit on this part here, to just really kind of reiterate it again, to reread it, CBDCs, I think, represent interesting opportunities. Well, that's true, right? CBDCs are something really interesting, something quite revolutionary, so that is true. This could potentially present an interesting opportunity to Ripple. Well, I mean, that much is true as well. We're talking about central bank digital currencies, and thus, since Ripple is working with currencies, getting digital ones might be a step forward to working with Ripple, but also might be kind of cool to be able to transact it. So yes, that's true. In that there's software products like RippleNet and bridge currencies like XRP that may have a very important role to play here. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory as well, how XRP and Ripple can support CBDC transfers. However, one thing I should note is that Bree Madigan has said this. However, She says as well that opinions are her own, and this is not necessarily something that Ripple agrees with. I don't know if it was said in the podcast or if this was something she tweeted or anything, but one thing we should note is that Ripple has specified on their Twitter and on their Insights page that their priority for ODL is not these bigger players and not these CBDCs, but the SMEs and the e-commerce websites and whatnot. And thus, we might not be seeing this for a very, very long time, but still, it's something to kind of aspire and hope for and something to keep in the back of our heads. But guys, that was it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. And see you guys again in another crypto video. Don't forget to press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it. And see you guys again.